After we heard about the potential of using forest products to generate energy for a heating system for our complex here, we decided to find out if it really was something we could do here in our county. And our first step in that process was sending our facilities staff, who actually run our heating and air conditioning systems, out to look at a similar system. So we sent them to the East Coast, where there are systems that have been in place for 15 or 20 years. And they looked at the technical side of it. And they came back and said, this is a proven technology, it's simple and straightforward, it's not something that is going to add to our workload substantially. So they said, we're on board. We like this technology, we would support if you pursue it. Then our next step was having a feasibility study done. We contracted with McNeil Technologies to conduct a feasibility study. What they found out, in a nutshell, is that we needed about 65 acres of our forest to supply heat for this complex of 5 buildings. They found out that the initial costs certainly were higher than putting in a natural gas system. The feasibility study found that in a worst case scenario where natural gas prices are low and we're paying for the total cost of our forest thinning, the payback period was expected to be about 20 years. And this system's lifespan is at least 20 years, possibly more. Now, in the best case scenario, with natural gas prices rising and taking into account the fact that we are thinning our forests anyway, the payback period was 7 years.
We infer additional costs from the standpoint that we have to have the transportation in order to get this material down here. So it takes the fuel in the truck, it takes the person that's going to drive the truck to get those materials down here. So that would be, some additional costs, but other than that, everything else is already done in-house. Just on Boulder County Parks and Open Space, we project that we have about eight years at least that we can get chips off of our property, and these are areas that are accessible to us that we can use. But beyond that, we have areas that we'll be able to re-enter within the next 5 or 10 years that were thinned maybe 5 or 10 years ago. So we have re-entry, so it being a renewable resource allows us to be able to go back in and look at these areas and continue to produce these materials. However, we do have other areas working with the U.S. Forest Service, working with the Colorado State Forest Service, the municipalities in Boulder County are all areas that we've not tapped into yet, where they have programs where they're generating wood material that we can tap into. And then one other area we have is working with private homeowners in land areas up in the mountains where we have homeowner groups that can get together and they could chip into these containers, and these containers then could be brought to our facility. So there's really lots of other areas, so there's quite a bit of stuff out there that we can tap into.